Thanks for listening to this special episode of the Gorman in the Morning podcast, sponsored by Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies. Steve had a chance to talk to the Red Rocker himself, Sammy Hagar, about a new song he did with Joe Satriani, dedicated to Eddie Van Halen, all inspired by a dream. Plus, what it's like to work with a bunch of stellar musicians and how they keep him on his toes, and how stoked Sammy is to spend more time in Las Vegas.
Sammy Hagar, Encore, Thank You, Good Night. This new song, it's funny. I've been listening to it. I'll just go ahead and say it absolutely rocks. It's fantastic. When somebody starts a conversation with, man, you won't believe this dream I had, 9 times out of 10, I don't want to hear the rest of that sentence. This one, however, this song prompted by a dream, and it's a doozy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You know, the whole thing, the reason it took me 2 years after the dream, which was, you know, a year after Eddie passed, was because what you just said. I said, well, you know, nobody wants to hear this crazy whacked out story. But, you know, I've written so many songs about dreams, and I've written so many songs from dreams to where I woke up in the middle of the dream, and this while I was singing the song or writing the song, and I remembered it, and I went, oh, wow, I better write this down. And this was the case on this situation. But like I said, it was such a strange subject matter that I've been holding on to it until finally I played it for Joe, told him the story, and he just goes, oh my God, you know, let me finish this. And it's what makes it so compelling for Joe to have stepped in, and who believes in dreams the way I do. Joe, we just finished, you know, 33 city tour. That's the Best of All Worlds tour, where we played 14 Van Halen songs. That's more than Van Halen played when I was in the band. Yeah.
Right.
And, you know, they always had all the big long solos and stuff, you know, and it's so we played a lot of songs, and Joe really got to study Eddie's guitar playing from inside and out, because Joe's a scholar. He studies. He knows what he's playing. He's not just learning some notes and saying, "Oh, this is interesting." No, he knows. Oh, this is the the minor third, like we were talking about the seventh seal. How it's what do you say? It's a fifth and a sixth with an octave or something like that. And I'm going, okay, I never knew that, you know.
Yeah.
But he knows what it is. And so when he wrote the rest of this song, he was thinking, because I said, what would Eddie have, if I finished this song in the dream, what would Eddie have done? And he goes, I don't know, but let me just feel some stuff. And wow, when he played me the parts, I just went, holy shit, you know, it was like working with Eddie. I mean, I hate, you know, I'm not trying to make this stuff up, man. I wrote a lot of songs with Eddie, you know? So when you are dreaming of someone that's passed, I don't know about you, but I have all the time. I dream about Ed Leffer. I dream about Bill Graham. I dream about Elvis Presley, John Lennon. And I mean, I'm hanging out with these guys in my dreams, and but the second you acknowledge, oh, wait a minute, they've passed, boom, dream's over, and you wake up.
Yep.
So that's what happened. I was sitting there with Eddie in this room, and we're having this big love fest. Oh, I miss you so much. And oh, it's been so long, you know, but not thinking he had passed, but just like we just hadn't seen each other for some reason. And we started working on this song, and I'm singing this melody, exactly what's on the song, you know. Da 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 da, da 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 da, and I'm singing that, and he's hitting these chords, and all of a sudden I went, holy shit, it's passed. Boom, the dream is over. I woke up and went, holy fuck. If you've seen the video, I pick up, we reenacted it. I woke up, sat up in bed, and went, wow, where's my notepad? Grab my notepad.
Yeah.
Dream about Eddie. Went and got my guitar, set up my iPhone. I did it. I have goosebumps all over my body right now because I can feel it and remember it. It's 2 years ago, and it's just like it just happened. So I'm a big dream guy. I've written a lot of songs about dreams. You know, dream is over. Have. Dreams, you know, dreams. I dream. You dream. You know.
I think too, it's a simple idea, which is like you said. I just want to say thank you. You know, express my gratitude for that time in Van Halen. Thank you to Eddie and to the fans. And now that sounds like a simple message, but those are sometimes the hardest to figure out how to deliver. You know, the simplest and truest message can be the one that stumps you the hardest sometimes.
You know, because it's embarrassing when you're an artist when you express your true feelings, that's embarrassing, man. I go out on stage. That's why people like, Kiss and stuff, they put on that uniform, man, and they go out and they play this role, man. That's easy,
Yeah.
except when you're our age and have to do it every night. That's not easy. But
Right.
but really, playing a role is much easier than being honest and truth and expressing your heart and soul like that. And it was embarrassing. It took me all this time to think about what I was going to say. And finally, I just said, well, I'm just going to tell the story what happened. I'm not going to make up nothing, and
Yeah.
and then it really became simple. Like you said, that's when it became simple. Like, oh, thank you. Thank you for the visit. That's my favorite line in the song. Thank you for the visit. What took so long? What I mean? I've been waiting on you, Eddie. Come on, I missed you, buddy. So it really kind of brings a heart and soul of everything, and kind of gives me a little closure in a funny way. I'll never write a song with Eddie again, but I kind of did. It's pretty cool.
That's very special. I mean, I don't know of a rock band ever that didn't have its downs to go with the ups. And your chapter in Van Halen, so many high points and then some really tough times. And I guess it's the same old simple adage. Well, time heals, if not all wounds, most of them. And at least you can. When you were a kid, every rocker I know that's been through a hard situation, you'd say, well, you would have signed that contract if you knew what was going to happen. You wouldn't have hesitated. And you'd jump in with both feet. You only made it there because you did take those chances. And looking back now, it is crazy to think how long it's been since you stepped into that band. I remember it like it was yesterday. Sammy's in Van Halen? No way. And then the decade that followed was just phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to say, we had a horrible experience, Eddie and I and Alex. I mean, the whole, not Micah, but on the reunion tour in 2004, I didn't realize Eddie was so sick. So, looking back now at even that, I probably could have been a little more user-friendly, a little more tolerant. But my tolerance level on tour is tough because, I'm a singer. I got to get my sleep. I can't be yelling and screaming in the dressing room. I got a job to do, buddy. And so, my tolerance on tour to someone else's problems is not so good. And you could ask my wife, she'd tell you the same thing. She calls it, whenever I'm getting ready to go on a tour or whenever I'm working on a record, that it's like I'm having a baby.
Yeah.
I'm giving birth.
Sure.
And so I'm kind of a little selfish, but it's okay. It comes out good on stage. Well, but those times, man, looking back now, oh my God. I mean, the one horrible year compared to the 10 good ones or 9 good ones, it just doesn't even count.
And you're not blind luck, but you're fortunate now. You've earned it, and you're in a great place where when you want to go out and play shows now, you have a million great musicians waiting for that phone to ring. You pick guys you want to go out, you want to spend time with, and you've got a hellacious band right now that you're going into Vegas with for this residency. Michael Anthony, Joe Satriani, and I mean it's an embarrassment of riches, and Kenny Aronoff on the kit. And I know one thing: those guys show up and they're pros and they deliver night in and night out, and they probably push you a little bit. As much as you are a diehard, old school, we're going to show up and do it right. Those guys aren't slacking off a thing.
No, I'm really a victim of my environment. If I'm around a bunch of losers, I turn into one. I can't help it. I'm a shitty leader. I follow, I don't lead. And I learned that, by playing in the early days with Ronnie Montrose, and then I left, Montrose, and then on my own, I just wasn't as good. I'm going, what the hell, my songs just aren't as good. I write them all by myself. And I'm finally in my age now, I've realized it now. I don't even want to write a song by myself. If I do, it's just a Sammy Hagar song. It's personal. And I don't expect it to be, what I can write with a guy like Joe Satriani or like I can write with a guy like Eddie Van Halen. It really, really matters that I'm play with great players, because like you said, otherwise I can just go out on stage. My fans are so wonderful. The damn redheads, they're so loyal, and they're just allow me to do anything I want. So I can go out on stage in a bathing suit and no shirt, which is, you would want to talk about embarrassing. Look. But I mean, I can, and they're there and applauding. And so I kind of get a little lazy and self-indulgent until I have to stand next to a guy like Joe Satriani, Michael Anthony, who can sing his ass off as well. I got to sing better when I'm with Mike. I can say, well, wait, I can't slack off here, you know. And a guy, you know, a guy like Kenny who knows the song perfectly can play it every time perfect because he reads charts. And I said the first time Kenny played in this band, Best of All Worlds tour, when Jason had to leave for family issue, he came in with 24-hour notice and played a 24-song set with 14 of them songs are Van Halen songs. And he played better. He made less mistakes that night than I made. And it was the 24th show. And so, yeah, the caliber of musicianship is really important to this guy right here, to me. It really lifts me up and makes me try harder and care more and be less self-indulgent. And I think it's good for the fans and the show. And yeah.
And so this round of dates, forgive me for saying it like this, but you finally figured it out, man. Residency. Don't get on tour. Make them come to you. It's fantastic. You got a bunch of dates in Vegas, Dolby Live at Park MGM.
Yeah.
Man, I can't imagine there's anything better than just keeping it in-house, staying where you are to get the job done.
Well, Steve, as they say, we're about to find out because I used to didn't like in Van Halen when we used to play 4 nights in New York, 4 nights in Detroit, 4 nights in Chicago, 4 nights in San Francisco, 4 nights in LA. I used to think, God, you know, I hate that because I feel so, oh man, I did that last night. Oh, I said that last night. Even my clothes, oh, I wore that last night. You know, even though it's been dry cleaned, I can't wear it tonight. So that puts stress on me because I'm a spontaneous guy. I don't like to do the same show every night. So that's the only thing that worries me is that element of it. But I guess Vegas turns over every weekend, you know. And the crazy fans, like I said, there's always those fans, the hardcores that are going to see multiple nights. I guarantee you, there's a handful of guys that will see every single show. You know, when a handful of people, you know, that will see every single show. And I'm more worried about them than I am the people that are seeing it for the first time.
Of course.
Yeah, you know, I'm just goofy. I still care a lot, and it kind of drive myself crazy. But I'm hoping that I'll love this residency, so we don't have to, you know, move every day, and I'll have time to, you know, work out a couple new songs in the show every night. You know, like change a song here and a song there. And because you can't do that on tour. You're packing your bags, you're getting on a plane, you're getting in a car, you're going, and you're trying to get something to eat, you're trying to get some sleep. Next thing you know, you're on stage going, damn, you know. And so the rest factor that I don't have to travel is going to be great for a guy my age. So I'm really looking forward to it being the secret to me being able to continue to do this, because I don't think I can go on tour again. I don't want to say I'm retiring. I would never say that. But I'm just don't know. My head, my mind, my heart and soul is not saying to me, oh boy, let's book another tour next year. My manager's talking to me, getting all these offers because this show has done so well. All the promoters, oh, we want it in Europe. I'm going, I can't say yes to it. No, I want to get through the residency and see if that satisfies me and I can pull it off on the level I want to pull it off. And if I can, I'll probably do it again.
All right. Well, April 30th to May 17th, I'm going to go ahead and call it the first residency of many. So, Sammy, it is a pleasure. It's a pleasure, man. I got to cut you loose. I always appreciate the time. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Steve. God bless you, man.
See you.